Good evening. He died after just one punch during a night out with friends. Within hours, Sussex teenager Connor Saunders had saved the lives of 5 other people through organ donation. In the days and weeks that followed, his family decided they wanted that legacy of life-saving to continue. And today, their campaign reached a remarkable milestone, as John Ryle explains.
What's the first silly question you might ask me? Are you joking? Brilliant, I like you a lot.
And the lesson today is how to save a life. The pupils of St Mark's Primary School were this morning drilled in how to save someone from choking, how to place someone in the recovery position. And next, 8 school staff will be trained how to use this.
Training mode. Call for help. Remove pads from package in back of unit. Apply.
A defibrillator donated to the school by the Connor Saunders Foundation, the 50th Sussex school to receive one through a campaign launched by Connor's family after his tragic death. The 19-year-old died in hospital from head injuries after being felled by a single punch in a car park at Rottingdean in 2012.
When this first happened, and it will be nearly 5 years ago, I didn't think as a family we'd be able to survive a day without Connor in our lives. To think that we're nearly 5 years on and we're our 50th defib, it truly is amazing.
If you've got one on site, the chances of survival are nearly about 80% now. If they're not on site and you're having to wait for one, the chances of survival are about 5%.
An average of 12 children a week suffer heart emergencies in Britain's schools, yet the vast majority do not have a defibrillator.
The Year 6 children, their writing activity after this is to write a letter to actually request that there should be a defibrillator in every school.
I think it's a very good thing to have in the school because it could save lives, like, very easily.
Amazing, now I can actually feel safe and all of us can feel safe.
One Sussex MP says classroom defibrillators and staff trained to use them should be the norm, not the exception.
The legislation has been slow in catching up, and whereas in schools we have legislation around fire extinguishers and smoke alarms, there isn't any legislation for defibrillators, and really the law is just trying to catch up with advances in medical technology. These weren't routinely available, say, 10 years ago.
Connor's family say today's landmark, defibrillator number 50, is just the start. The Connor Saunders Foundation wants to see one of these in every school and every sports centre. John Ryle, ITV News, Brighton.
In other news, work to assess the damage to a ship after a fire on board has continued today. Fire broke out on the American car transporter Honour after it left Southampton last Friday. It was brought under control by the ship's crew. Now, they've spent 4 months on deployment in the heat of Iraq, but today it was a damp and drizzly Aldershot that saw a very special homecoming for the troops from the 4th Battalion, the Rifles. The Duchess of Cornwall was the guest of honour. Rachel Hepworth was also there.
A rousing military welcome on the wettest of Monday mornings. But the Duchess of Cornwall was undaunted by the weather as she inspected the troops dressed in the regimental colour, rifleman green. Her Royal Highness became the battalion's Royal Colonel 10 years ago, and she was here to welcome troops home from a 4-month deployment to Iraq.
The fight against ISIS or Daesh is really in its closing stages in Iraq, as much as we can say. And so for us to go there and train the Iraqis so they can finish the work off there is really crucial. And so we hope that in the next few months the situation will be far more stable there. So it's been really crucial and very timely intervention.
Hello. But as well as those at the sharp end, the Duchess praised the families back home, calling them unsung heroes. Her support much appreciated.
She's just so supportive of the regiment, and she writes to us, and yeah, it was lovely to see her, particularly given the weather conditions.
She said happy birthday to me, and she just asked if we're glad to have Daniel home, and if we've missed him as well.
When a member of the royal family comes down and welcomes you back home, it just reminds you that actually you are representing the nation and your efforts are appreciated.
She asked me if I was cold.
And we lied and said no.
Yeah. The Duchess, an army officer's daughter herself, was clearly at ease both with families and on the parade ground. The regiment demonstrating their traditional double march. Very handy for getting out of the rain. Rachel Hepworth, ITV News in Aldershot.
The I360 tourist attraction in Brighton won't reopen until Wednesday at the very earliest. Sightseers were stranded for more than an hour when the viewing pod broke down last Friday. Its operators say it was caused by a slight technical hitch. The new Cowes floating bridge on the Isle of Wight won't be in operation until early May after staff training and trial runs. The previous floating bridge was taken out of service last month. People are being urged to have their say on plans for a road tunnel past Stonehenge before a public consultation closes next Saturday. The preferred route will be announced later this year. Now, for Southampton supporters, it was a match that had a bit of everything, not least a dramatic comeback followed by a heartbreaking finale. But the EFL Cup final was a day to remember, and as Andrew Pate reports, remember with pride.
Southampton's fans arrived at Wembley full of hope. But they knew for their team to lift the trophy, they'd have to get the better of world-renowned striker Zlatan Ibrahimovic and one of the game's most successful managers.
Mourinho is the special one, but only until 3 hours' time, and then he will realise the true special are the Saints.
Man United, they're on a great run at the minute and they're going to be tough to beat, but once that whistle goes, you know, I think all that will go out the window. It's a cup final, so it's anybody's, and hopefully it'll be the Saints that win it.
If they didn't have the Swedish player or whatever he is,
Zlatan.
Ibrahimovic. Yeah, that's his name. I would have said that we had a very good chance, and I still think we do have a good chance.
Afterwards, Jose Mourinho admitted Southampton were the better team in large parts, and they wrongly had a goal disallowed. Manolo Gabbiadini clearly onside. But then that man Ibrahimovic stepped up and curled in, United the lead. And Mourinho's men scored a second against the run of play through young England star Jesse Lingard. But red-hot Gabbiadini gave the Saints hope. This time, the goal stood, and the Southampton fans roared their team off at half-time, which was nothing to the noise generated when Gabbiadini scored the equaliser. He's only played 3 matches for the team, and this was goal number 5. The Saints pressed forward, and Oriol Romeo so nearly headed home, but it came back off the post. Did you think you'd scored?
I had no time to see it. So when I saw the ball, it was straight, already hitting the post. It was, 1, 2, 3 inches that the ball may go in, may go out. It changes the game, it changes the final.
And then that man Ibrahimovic intervened again with just 3 minutes to go to break Southampton hearts.
What do you say to the Saints supporters?
Big thank you for supporting us and give us big energy, because we feel bad that we didn't give them more pleasure, but still I think we deserve much more from this game.
Andrew Pate reporting there, and such a shame they couldn't pull it off. Now, it's been miserable weather today. Are things going to improve? With all the details tonight, here's Simon Parker.
From sleet to the slopes, driving through Europe, Eurotunnel the Shuttle sponsors ITV Meridian weather.
Good evening. Well, it's the double whammy of cold and unsettled as we head through the next few days. Certainly overnight tonight, a few more showers around, and as we head through the next few days, there'll be more rain at times, and it'll be quite breezy too. Basically, low pressure very much in charge of our weather. And as each low pressure system clears away towards the east, another one comes in from the west, bringing with it bands of rain and also, as I say, some strong winds. Certainly breezy overnight tonight, and the showers wintry over the higher ground of the the Chilterns, the Cotswolds, the Downs and Salisbury Plain, but clearing away and leaving us with a cold end to the night. Temperatures down to around freezing in some rural spots. So watch out for ice on untreated surfaces and also for a bit of frost to wake up to tomorrow morning. Apart from that, it's a dry and fine start to Tuesday. But then as we head into the afternoon, you'll notice the cloud thickening up from the west, and then we'll see the showers start to come in. Again, there could be some heavy ones in there. Again, a bit of sleet or even hail. Plus those temperatures tomorrow very disappointing, peaking at a lowly 6 or 7 degrees. And we don't escape the strong wind either along the coast and around the Isle of Wight, gusts of around 40 miles an hour.
Eurotunnel the Shuttle sponsors ITV Meridian weather.
Oh dear, wet, windy and ice. I think it's time to book the summer holiday, don't you? And that is all from us for tonight. We are back in Good Morning Britain from 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, and any updates will be on our website. From me and from all of us here tonight, thanks for staying with us. Good night.